Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and to this new video. First of all, I want to thank you for the visual that my first video on the channel has right now. I published it a few days ago, but it already has a nice number for what were my expectations. So uh, I appreciate that very much. And today we have some other stories from r slash no sleep, since I liked the ones that we had last time. Um, so let's hop onto some new stories, and I hope this video um, goes at least well like the last one. The first story was uploaded 10 hours ago at the moment I am recording the video and is titled My New Roommate Won't Stop Knocking on My Door at Night. He moved in 2 days ago. So, before starting to read the story, um, me and my um, girlfriend were um, in an apartment 1 year ago, almost 2 years ago, actually. And some crazy things happened. Um, um, our roommates did some things, and so I understand the struggle um, of being in a room in a house with people you don't know. So let's start to read the story. I met Andrew through a Facebook post. I needed a roommate fast, and he messaged me 5 minutes after I posted in the local housing group. No profile picture, no mutual friends, but he said all the right things. Said he had a stable remote job, no pets, quiet, clean, respectful. I FaceTimed him once. He seemed normal. A little awkward maybe, but I didn't care. I needed rent. He moved in on Friday. By Saturday night, I wanted him out. The first red flag was the way he unpacked. He brought 4 boxes. That's it. No bed, no decorations, not even a backpack. The boxes were taped tight and he carried them one at a time, always holding them away from his body, like they might bite. I offered to help. He didn't answer, just smiled. Then took the last box into his room and shut the door. I didn't see him for the rest of the day. Around midnight, I heard him whispering in there. Couldn't make out the words. It sounded like a prayer, or maybe a list. It didn't stop until 3 a.m. The next morning, I went to make coffee. The kitchen was spotless. My cereal box was in the fridge. My coffee beans had been alphabetized, and there was a note on the counter in blocky, perfect handwriting. I replaced your sponge. The old one had too many eyes. I stood there, staring at it for a minute. Then I opened the cupboard. New sponge, bright yellow. And on the floor beneath the sink, the old one, soaked, covered in black mold. I swear I wasn't there the day before. The middle was ripped open, like it had teeth. That night, I locked my bedroom door. Around 11 a.m., I heard footsteps outside it. Slow, barefoot, careful. Then a knock. Not loud, not aggressive. Just two soft taps. I didn't move. Another knock. Three this time. Slightly faster. Andrew? I asked. No reply. I checked the peephole. No one there. When I opened the door, the, half, the hallway was empty. But another note was taped to the wall. Don't answer until the third knock. She gets impatient. I didn't sleep after that. I confronted him the next day. He was sitting in the living room, facing the blank TV screen. When I asked what the notes were about, he blinked slowly and said, You heard her, didn't you? Heard who? She doesn't like being seen too soon. It ruins her. Then he turned back to the blank TV, smiling. I backed into my room and locked the door. That night, I heard him whispering again, not to himself this time. I could hear the difference. He was answering someone, listening, nodding between each line. I pressed my ear to the wall. His voice came through clearer. She wants to know your name, he said. She wants to wear it. I stopped sleeping in the apartment after that. I stayed at my friend's for a night. No calls, no messages from Andrew. But I got a voicemail. No number, just unknown. 30 seconds of breathing, then whispering. Then, right before it ended, my own voice saying, Let me back in. I hadn't said that. I came home the next day planning to kick him out, tell him to pack up his 4 boxes and leave, but the boxes were gone. All that was left in his room was a circle of salt around the bed, symbols drawn in the carpet, charcoal, I think, or blood, and one last note. Don't break the circle. She likes you. She might not she might not stop at your name. I called the police. They found the room empty. No Andrew, no salt, no symbols. Just an empty room with bare walls and cold air. They asked if I'd been drinking. That night, the knocking came again. 2:14 a.m. 3 soft knocks. I didn't move. Then I heard a voice right outside the door, high pitched, childlike, trying too hard to sound friendly. I have your name. It scratched at the wood. I want to give it back. I didn't answer. At 3 a.m. on the dot, it stopped. The next morning, the hallway was covered in fingerprints, tiny, like a child's, burned into the paint. There was another note, slipped under my door. She's inside now. Don't let her out. She wears new faces. You won't recognize them until they smile. I haven't seen Andrew since. I don't know. I don't think I ever really met him, but I hear the knocking every night, always at the same time, and always one knock closer. Well, it was a nice story. Um, there were some things that I didn't understand, like this knocking thing. Probably this entity has this way to present to others, but also where did Andrew go? Like, did the entity took him, or it was Andrew himself, the entity? Was he like possessed? I don't really know what to think. But it was nice. So let's go search for another story. This one looks nice. When I was 10, my friends and I witnessed things we never should have. Let's read this. It is from 17 hours ago, so also pretty fresh. And let's see. Also, if you hear noise, um, don't worry, it's all normal. I have the air conditioning on because it's super hot inside my house, and also since I live near the seaside, um, today apparently there's a band that is tuning in to perform this evening, so they are setting the gig on, and so you could hear some noise in the background of the video. But let's continue and let's read the next story, which, as I said, it's called "When I Was 10, My Friends and I Witnessed Things We Never Should Have." I'm sure if you lived in a small town like me, you had some sort of urban legend too. Maybe it was the old man up the road killed his wife. Maybe it was a scary clown living in a gutter who killed kids. Whatever it was, it probably got less scary as you grew up and realized it was probably just older kids messing with you. But my town had something different, and I've been keeping it secret for 19 years. It all started this summer when my friends and I were 10 years old. We spent hours out by the creek or riding our bikes. It was, by all accounts, a typical childhood summer. Well, that all changed one day. It was me, my twin brother Ryan, and our friends, Jill, Laura, and Steven. We were exploring the woods trying to find a perfect location to build a fort, when we saw something strange. A tunnel. It was overgrown and looked to be almost ancient. Relax, Steven said, sensing our unease. It's probably just an old sewer pipe or something. I don't know, Steve, Jill, our resident nurse, said. It looks really old, kind of like the ancient temples that I saw in my Nat Geo magazine. Blah blah blah, stupid Nat Geo magazine, Steven mocked. Whatever. It looks cool, let's go in. Before any of us could object, he rushed into the tunnel. It was decidedly not an old sewer pipe. It went on for seemingly miles, with all sorts of ancient artifacts that I'm certain we probably could sold to a museum and be set for life. I studied the anthropology in university, and the things I saw in here didn't resemble artifacts of any known civilization. That's what frightens me the most. We finally got to the end of the tunnel, and you wouldn't know it. Jill seemed to be right. At the end of the tunnel was a room filled with gold and other offerings. A painting on the wall farthest from us depicted some sort of monster, deity, God? I don't even know how to describe it. Below the things were humans, bowing down to it. There was writing on the wall, but it was in a language no one of us recognized. Laura, when you get home, ask your dad for help with whatever this is, Jill said, reaching his hand out and feeling the painting. Laura's dad owned the library in our own town and was probably the smartest guy here. Not a brag, considering our town was in a state with one of the highest illiteracy rates in the country. Laura nodded. I'll take a picture of it and show it to him after Mom goes to bed. She thinks I'm mowing my neighbor's lawns right now, she said, pulling her camera out. She took a picture of the writing, but took a few more of the temple. We left and kind of thought that was the end. Maybe Laura's dad could figure out what it said, but honestly, I don't think any of us were that invested at this point. The next day, as Ryan and I were getting dressed and ready for another day of whatever bullshit we had planned to do, my mom called us down. Ryan, Michael, your friend wants to see you. We rushed downstairs and were shocked to see Laura, who usually had chores to do in the morning, on her uncle's farm and would join us later in the day. She looked out of breath. Guys, I have to show you something. She was clutching her photos that she had taken yesterday. Did you get your dad to translate it? Ryan asked. Yeah, and I did to tell you. Come on. She pulled out of our house where Jill and Stephen were already waiting. Basically, he said it's some extinct language from the Middle East, she explained. The Middle East? We live in America, Steve said. Yeah, genius, we know. Shut up and let her finish. Jill nudged. Jill nudged Stephen. And there's not really a direct translation, he said. But it basically says that a god who gets forgotten will unleash his wrath on the world by like destroying worldly treasures and something about making people remember. I'm not sure what they mean. Wow, so we found an old temple for a god? I asked. We could be rich. Well, that's not all. Look at some pictures I took. Laura pulled out some of her pictures. There was something in the background. It didn't look like any animal I've ever seen, but it wasn't exactly human either. It was tall, almost too tall for the frame, and it was staring right at us. Are you sure that's not just like a camera flare or something? Jill asked. Oh, yeah, a camera flare that made a creepy monster show up. Real smart, Ryan said, pushing Jill. As we walked around town, theorizing on what it could be, an old pickup truck pulled up next to us. Laura, there you are. I've been looking for you everywhere. Oh yeah, sorry uncle, whatever, get in the truck, I need to show you something. Thankfully, our uncle let us all ride in the back of the truck and go with them. I mean, I've seen fucked up creatures be born here, but ain't nothing like this. Pardon my French. There in the barn was a baby goat, or what I assume was once a baby goat. It had sharp teeth, sharper than regular goats, and it looked like its bones were all messed up. Weird thing is that it's still alive. Usually, these things are dead by daylight, Laura's uncle said, bending down to inspect the goat. Even weirder still, I can't recall any of my goats being pregnant before last night. Like this thing just appeared. Well, I'll be off to milk the cow. Laura, let me know if anything happens to it. We all just stared at it in silence for a while. Unlike other deformed animals, it seemed to be doing just fine, thriving even. This is weird, right? Like, weird. Not cool weird, Stephen remarked. And for the first time, he didn't have anything snarky, snarky to say. Totally. Maybe it has something to do with that thing we found yesterday, I said. We were all quiet for a while. No, it can't be. Just because some goat had a freaky baby doesn't mean the world is ending, Ryan said, walking away from the barn. Let's go, Michael. This is stupid. I wish he was right. I would give anything for him to have been right about that. Because the next day, things got weirder for us. And the day after that, and the day after that. The next day, Ryan and I woke up with scratches all over us. Both of us blamed the other, but I think it was just wishful thinking. Deep down, both of us knew that no kid or human, for that matter, could have made cuts that deep. It was like a nightmare only my friends and I could witness. Laura's dead library had his entire religious section set on fire, everything else untouched. There were no signs of break-in. Stephen, who went to church on Sundays, would wake up extremely ill, only on church days, and be fine on Monday. Jill seemed to have it the worst. We actually didn't see him for a few days, which was out of the ordinary, so we went to check up on him. We entered his bedroom to find him in the corner, hunched over a book. It was massive and heavy looking. Uh, Jill? Stephen said, looking concerned, which was unsettling to me because neither of them ever got along very well. He startled. Jesus, you scared me. Wait, I shouldn't say that. Guys, come in. I need to tell you something. Slowly, we all stepped forward, unsure if it was trap, a trap or not. I've been studying a lot of religions. I couldn't find anything about the temple we found. It's gotta be a really old one. Like one that got forgotten a long time ago. Dude, where is this going? I asked. It hurt me and Ryan to move a lot. There were scratches everywhere. They seemed to be growing every night. So, when the writing said that thing about being forgotten and punishing the people who forgot him, it looks like we forgot about whatever this god was a long time ago. And it's mad now. That's it. That's why Stephen gets sick before church. That's why our dad's religious books all burned. Laura and I don't really know what the scratches are doing, but it's gotta be something. Do you guys need bandages or something? Because I have some if you need, Jill explained. Um, yeah, I could probably go for some, Ryan said, lifting his shirt up. I did the same. Wait a minute, Laura said. Guys, stand like right next to each other. Our friends looked at us in shock. What? Is it bad or something? I asked. Jill pushed us towards his mirror. Then we saw why they were so scared. The whole time we hadn't seen it, and it had been right under our noses, literally. Across both of our chests, the scratches made a shape. It was a face, but it looked familiar. Laura, do you still have those pictures you took in the temple? She pulled them out of her pocket. That monster in the background of the pictures she took. It was there. The same faces on our skin and in the photo. Okay, this is messed up, man. I gotta go. Steve stammered, and he ran out of Gil's room. We watched him run away through Jill's window. I'm scared, he said sheepishly. I feel like we did something by going in that temple. Something bad. The next day, I guess he was proven right. Steven didn't get home last night. There was a whole search for him and everything. No sign of him anywhere. That night, Jill, Laura, Ryan, and I all met up at Laura's uncle farm. We walked through the fields, trying to clear our heads. Suddenly, we heard a weird noise coming from the barn. As we went in to investigate, we saw that the weird deformed goat again. Even though it was only a few weeks old, it already looked fully grown. It looked at us. I don't know how to explain it, but its eyes, they didn't look like normal animal eyes. It pushed past us and started to walk away. I honestly have no idea what came over the four of us with everything that was going on. We probably weren't in the right headspace, plus, us being stupid 10-year-olds didn't help. We followed it all the way into the woods and back where it all started. That god forsaken tunnel we never should have gone down. As the deformed spiny goat led us down, we heard something chanting. At the end, the room with the painting was Stephen. He was moving, bowing down to the deity, just like all of the people in the painting were, and chanting in some strange language. But he didn't look alive. His eyes seemed dead, like he was possessed. Stephen, Laura finally said. He looked up at us, tears in his eyes, and shook his head. It took us until then to realize the goat was gone. I opened my eyes for just a second, a choice I regret all the time. In its place, I saw something I was not sure I can explain to this day. It was the thing in the picture, horns like a goat, massive in stature. The same thing on the painting. It was the god. Guys, I said under my breath, we have to go. Leave as quietly as you can. I'll get Stephen. Laura and Jill began to sneak out of the temple, but Ryan stopped me. I'm helping too. Together, we tried to grab Stephen, who was bowing to the god. It towered all over us, seemingly basking in the feeling of being worshipped again. Come on, dude, let's go, Ryan said, trying to pull him up. Stephen looked at us for a moment, shaking his head again. You heard that stupid thing Laura's dad translated? If it gets forgotten, bad shit will keep happening. As long as I'm here, it's not forgotten. Go, just go. I promise I'll be okay. What? No. I can't leave you. You're my friend, I said. And you are my friends, dude. This is what friends are for. This is gonna sound stupid, but I love you guys. Please go. I don't want you to get hurt. Ryan and I stood in silence, not wanting to leave him. Are you deaf? Go, I said. Go before it makes you stay too. We ran, only looking back when we were fully out. Jill and Laura waiting for us. Thanks, Steve, I said, holding back tears. All the adults told us the same thing, that we had seen something we shouldn't have, and that whatever we think we saw was just our brains trying to protect us from what actually happened. That they searched all over the woods and that there was no temple. Laura's dad and uncle didn't even believe us. They chalked it up to our imagination. Life went on, and we all grew apart, only seeing each other a few times a year. We don't really talk about that summer much. I mean, we all think it about, sure, but I don't think any of us want to be reminded of it. One day, we had met up for dinner at Jill's place, and he wanted to show us something. In his basement was a shrine, a painting of the fucking entity decorated the walls. His two young kids sat, praying to it. Dude, what the fuck? Laura asked. This is insane. No, no, you guys don't get it. What Steven did was great, and it bought us some time, but it's not going to live forever. What happens in 20, 30 years when he dies, huh? He'll be forgotten. What happens when we die? As long as he's not forgotten, we are safe, right? Now, sit down with us and pray. I'm not going to pray, Jill demanded. Laura, Ryan, and I got out there pretty quick. So, why am I writing this? Well, that thing's rules were pretty clear. As long as he's remembered, everything is fine. And there's no more permanent thing than writing. So, if by some off chance somebody finds this at some point in time, maybe think a bit about what you remember and what you forget. That was nice. A very nice story. Um, I liked it more than the other one because, well, yeah, disappears. Clearly be not true, but also it reminded me a bit about um, the It movie um, when, like, the guys from the first movie are all grown up and meet again and has to face again the same uh, thing that they um, witnessed when they were little. And somehow it also reminded me the movie The Ritual. um, I don't know if you have seen it, but um, it's a nice film. There's also um, a deity of some kind in the forest. It's it looks like it has some human feature, but also it's like an animal, and it's massive. So this was a really nice story. Um, I don't know. I hope you like them. Um, Again, there will probably be some gameplay underneath the stories to keep you company. And I gotta say, this is only the second video that I'm doing um, speaking English clearly, but I already feel like I'm getting more confident, just a little bit, but speaking out loud, mm, it's already I don't know, it's already showing signs of improvement, even if it's little, but I still like it. um I had a great time reading these stories to you guys, so let me think what are your thoughts of about these stories, and I'll see you in the next video. And until then, have a good day.